Hello, welcome to My Messy Fingers. I'm Charlie. I just finished a new album featuring Ciao Timeless Moments. Scrap and Create, an online store, sent me the paper collection to play with, and I have to tell you, it's a beautiful collection. What I worked with was 2 of the 12 by 12 core design, 2 of the 12 by 12 patterns, and then 1 of the A4. Now the ribbon is my ribbon out of my stash. The cardstock that I used to wrap it I got from CARDSTOCKwarehouse.com, and this is a mid green. And then I backed it with 1 sheet of white, and then I used the paper collection. So on this collection, this particular piece right here has the peonies over here, and then it had this teacup and the bird that went up the center. I came in here and I cut this out, and then I backed it on a kind of a cereal box. There I go, cereal box product. Make it a little bit more firm, and then I popped it up because I wanted this to raise up off the front of the album. And then I fussy cut out the teapot, the clock, and this came out of the A4 cutouts, as well as the word album. This came out of the A4 cutouts, and I put it behind here. Because this is sticky foam backup, I did have to cut this off about halfway through so that it would just come in behind the cups. This is raised up on some foam pop-ups as well, and these are just laid flat onto the album itself. This came out of the A4 cut aparts, and then I have some little brass blings that I used here on the front of the album. And then when you come around here, this piece here is what came off of the back for the cutouts, and then I took a thin, small cutout card from the A4 papers. Back here, this is A4. This is off of one of the 12 by 12 sheets. And then I put in the butterfly. So getting in here. Okay, let's start right here. There are some beautiful images in this, and so I had some challenges because these big images are on big 12 by 12 sheets that are just gorgeous. I hated cutting into them. So I had to focus on what it was I wanted on each of the pages. I wanted to keep the cat, so I had to forego the door. The door was quite nice, but I wanted to keep the cat. And these 2 frames are cut out and they're popped up. The band here, I've got one of the little brass rings. The die I'm using is called Pink Fresh Studios, and I don't know if it's available, so just disclaimer there, and it's from my die stash. So in here, we have a tuck right here on the front, plus a nice big pocket. And these pieces here are out of my scrap, but this is out of the A4, and I put some little butterflies, the tea menu, and then when you turn this over, we've got a picture opportunity back here. You can put an entire photo in here and just tuck it in, or you can put a small photo and then utilize this tuck that's right here. Then we have a big long pocket for a tuck over here. And I also put in the sugar bowl and the spoon, so we have a tuck down here. You still have lots of room here to put in a good size photo. And then over here, the old Magnolia tea room, this piece and this piece on the 12 by 12 were stacked on top of each other. So I came in here and trimmed this down, and I added some more corner filigrees and a butterfly. And then this is the bottom half of that trim. So then when you open these up, you have a little tuck pocket here on this side. It opens again, and we have another pocket. Here's another tuck, And then over here is another pocket. You have a large tuck. You can put photos up here if you wish. And then when you get over on this side, we have another small pocket. And here's another tuck. You've got lots of room here to put in a photo if that's what you wish to do. And then we have a pull-out. I covered both sides. And here, the window, I wanted to do something special with it. So the best that I could do was, there's a seam in the window, in the picture of this. So I cut the seam to here, and then I scored down so that you could actually open these up. Here is a tuck, and then you've got memories. Now you can put a picture over this if that's what you want, or you can just leave it the way it is and you can take and put some kind of a tuck. You can journal here on these two sides. Then we're going to open this, and we have a nice long pocket. We can also put a photo over here. On this side, I did take one of the floral cut-aparts and I put it here on the front so I could stay within the floral theme of the page here. Then when you open this up, we have a photo opportunity with a tuck. You've got a nice pocket over here, another photo. Open this up, and we've got two photo mats here with tucks underneath of them, and each one of these has a little tuck behind. Over here, we got the clock. So I measured this at being roughly about 8.5. Oh, where's my ruler? I trimmed this so that this piece was at 8.5, and it was roughly 8.25 across. And then on my die cutting machine, I cut this out so that this becomes the magnet closure. And then I just cut another piece to cover the cardstock there. So you open this up, and we've got nice photo spot, and we've got some nice long tucks on both sides. Open this up further, and we have a tuck over here on this side, and we have a tuck over here on this side, and there's still opportunity to put in a decent size photo. Here we have a tuck, but this is a flap that comes up. You can put a photo in here. It also tucks. And then down here across the bottom, we have a top and a bottom tuck that you can slide some things into. And I cut out one of the little cut-aparts out of the A4 and just added it as an embellishment. And then over here, I've done the same thing. I've cut out an embellishment, put it here. It's a small tuck. And then here's the other flap that goes up. We've got a tuck. And then again, a bottom and top tuck there. Now here, these tea containers and the word fine teas are all on one 12 by 12 sheet stacked together. So I cut them just beneath each one, and then layered them, and then you've got different size photo mats. We have a belly band here. You can put things in there, and you can still put a decent size photo right there. And then we have another pull, and I covered it on both sides. So then we get in here, and this is one of the A4 papers, and across the bottom of the A4 is the alphabet that they include. So I cut all the way down just in front of the alphabet so I could get this to fit the page sizes. I found that this piece, its simplicity was just stunning, so I didn't want to do anything with it, so I just created a nice little tuck up here that you can put something. And then over here, we have a nice little pocket, and then we've got a cutout card for an embellishment. When you open this up, we've got a nice long pocket over here. And then right here we have a tuck, and you can also put a decent sized photo still. And then I've done that again here. And then when you look at this flap here, it mirrors it on this side. So you can leave these as they are, as decorative elements in the album, or you can put in a picture if you wish. This Have a Cup of Positive Tea is one 12 by 12 strip that's actually at the top of one of the 12 by 12 pages. So I cut it right in front of the word positive and placed it here. This is a fixed photo mat. And then I cut this out and turned it into a tuck. And then over here, this is the other large element that I really wanted to play with, but to do it justice in my mind, I'd have to make this album 12 by 12. So what I did, this has 2 shutters on each side of this, and then this is a little bit longer. So I cut it across the bottom. I just saved just a fraction of an inch above this arch in the chest. And what I did was I took those 2 panels and I put them in here. So these are fixed in. I just backed them with some cardstock so they would stand out a little bit. And then in between the 2 of them, I have 2 flips. I have a flip up. Oops, let me get this up here. And I have a flip down. So here, this little soft embellishment, I cut that out of one of the A4 cards and then turned it into a tuck, but you can also place a photo. And on the front of this, there is one of the clocks. I made a tuck out of it, as well as here. And then this one here, this is one of the cutouts on the A4, so I also made it a tuck. And then over here we have a double waterfall. There's 12 of them, 6 on each row, and these will fit 5 by 3.5 photos. Now I had enough paper, I went through and I covered both sides. I did cover the hinges part, and then when you get in here, this will hold nicely a 4 by 6 photo right here. Now this will be for sale on my Etsy site. I'll provide the link to it below. And if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, I would love it if you would. And if you haven't been over to Scrap and Create, please go over to their link. I have everything down below, the descriptions to all the products used, unless it was in my particular stash. So I appreciate you viewing, and I would really love it if you would stop by Scrap and Create and share some love with them. You know, if you do that, they'll send you this little cute baggie that'll have all these brass elements in it. So until the next video series, I'll see you then.